Okay, all right. Welcome. Cami will continue to let folks in as they join into the Zoom. And welcome if you are on the Facebook group, WiseMind Science and Soul of Success. So I made it here today. I'm super excited because I actually have not been feeling well. I've been sick since last weekend, and thank God it's not COVID. I did go and get tested, but I have picked up some kind of virus and I've been sick since Saturday. So I'm still not 100%. So forgive me if I'm not my normal self today, but I will do my best to bring it. So Cami, we've got some folks in the waiting room. If you could let them in, please. Okay, so thinking about the building what we call a holiday stress survival toolkit, right? So this is a combination of mindfulness and meditation, and just knowing that obviously the holiday season can be a super stressful time. And whether you're dealing with family, if you're going to visit family, or whether family are coming to you, or whether you're setting up a holiday party, that we need to have what we call mindfulness strategies in place, and what we call something called coping skills in place. So we want to be able to learn to what we call thrive and not just survive during the holidays, right? We want to be able to have joy and be in the present moment, right? It's a perfect play on words with mindfulness, to be present in the moment, right? That mindfulness is one of the biggest gifts that we can actually give our family, is to be present in the moment during the holidays. And I'm here to tell you that this is not an easy feat, right? It's not an easy thing to do. So what I'm going to cover today is there's 4 areas that we're going to cover, and then I'm going to take you through what we call a letting go meditation. So the 4 areas are giving yourself the gift of meditation and presence. Number 2 is conscious relationships, communication, and active listening. Number 3 is emotional regulation and cope ahead skills. So I'm going to give you some things that you can do to plan for when you're going to see family, or when you're going to see family, or just around your immediate family. And then I'm going to give you some tools that you can use when you're sitting at the holiday table, or you're sitting with your immediate family, and you might feel yourself potentially getting triggered or getting stressed or anxious, and things that you can do to resolve that with using yoga and meditation and breath work. And then number 4 is going to be around self-care and self-compassion. And this is really important to do what we call mindful self-compassion during the holiday season, because it is really easy to kind of beat ourselves up around a certain expectation that we put on ourselves during the holidays, that it has to be a certain way, or it's not, quote, good enough. Okay. So go ahead and let's take a moment to ground ourselves. So if you are in a place where you can find a comfortable seat, you can close your eyes or have a soft gaze. Obviously, if you are driving, I don't want you to do this. You can just follow along. But if you're in a place where you can actually sit to meditate, take a moment. Again, closing the eyes or having a soft gaze. If you don't feel comfortable closing the eyes, it's okay. So I'm going to share with you, some of you on the webinar I've taken you through this meditation before. So Sandy and Tara, and as others listen to this replay, just know that this is one of my favorite meditations, and this is called a letting go meditation. So it's the foundation of one of the main foundations of mindfulness. So just go ahead and take a moment, close the eyes. And just think about being in the present moment and practicing letting go during the holiday season. So sometimes we need more love and forgiveness and compassion, and definitely the holiday season is an opportunity to practice these things. So this teaching and meditation should help show you the way. So we're letting go of what does not mean, losing knowledge that you've gained in the past. Letting go simply is releasing emotions or images or fears or disappointments or maybe resentments that bind our spirit. So like emptying a cup, letting go of leaves, let us free to receive, refresh, be awakened, be open to unconditional love, be open to give unconditional love, be open to true joy, which is actually beyond just happiness. Having a sense of joy and a sense of peace is at a much higher vibration and much beyond just happiness, just being able to be in the present moment. So practicing letting go. Again, I want you to just sit comfortably and quietly and just take a moment to pay attention and start to cultivate a deep mind-body breath connection. So really start to notice, where is your breath here in the present moment, and how does that connect with the mind and body? So I want you to take a moment to relax and imagine grounding yourself here in the present moment for several minutes. And bring awareness, right? So awareness to any story, any situation, any feelings, samskara patterns, reactions that we want to let go of. So taking a moment to name it gently, right? Could it be betrayal, sadness, unhealed wounds, inner critic voice, perfectionism, and allow them the space to just float without resistance and holding in a heart of compassion. So continuing to breathe and to build that mind-body breath connection, I want you to ask yourself, do I have to continue to replay this story? Do I have to hold on to these feelings? Is it time to let this go? So the soul and the heart will know when it's time to let go. And so I want you to say to yourself, let it go, let it go, let it go, ever so gently. And soften the body and the heart and let any feelings that arise just drain out of you, like water draining out of a tub. Let the images go, the beliefs, the self-righteousness, the unworthiness, let it go. And feel the space that comes as you let go, how the heart releases the body and the body opens. How directing the mind to envision the future where this circumstance has been released, and sense the freedom, the ease that letting go can bring. So say to yourself, let go, let go, let go. And just sitting quietly and noticing if the feelings return. And each time they return, we breathe softly as to bow to them and say, I've let you go. So the images and feelings may come back many times, but as you continue to practice, they will eventually fade. And gradually the mind will come to trust the space of letting go. Again, gradually the mind will come to the trust and trusting the space of letting go. So gradually the heart and soul will be easy and you will be free. So take a moment to just, again, breathe into whatever that thing is that you want to let go. And then setting an intention as sankalpa on this practice that we're in this present moment. And I want you to tune into that. So when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. And I want you to think about, again, continuing to give yourself the gift of meditation and presence. Okay. So you might be struggling with, staying conscious through the holidays, right? Maintaining your mental and emotional balance. We all struggle with this. Our physical health, right? Having a mindful presence. And over the years, I have found myself, having a sprint, that starts at the beginning of November or sometime around November to the New Year's, all through New Year's, sometimes can be overwhelming, right? So there's so many parties and celebrations, and there's heightened expectations, and there's presents and family. And sometimes it's hard to stay grounded and centered. So you think about, family visits, emotional dramas, old wounds that can be re-triggered, even old family wounds that we've healed can be re-triggered. Shopping assaults, right? Lots of shopping and just nostalgia, right? All types of feelings can come up during the holidays. So I found that mindfulness has been one of the best tools to stay grounded through this time. So again, I want you to give yourself the gift of meditation. And if you're visiting family or if you're traveling any long distance for the holidays, a pro tip, again, is to give yourself this tip of meditation first thing in the morning. So even if it's just 5 minutes, it can create space in your being, and you're going to be less prone to fall into old dynamics and patterns with family members. Why? Because meditation will keep you calm and it'll fuel your mindful presence throughout the day. So you actually start to strengthen your prefrontal cortex. That's the science behind meditation. And it actually weakens the parts of our brain that cause anxiety and cause emotional reactivity. It allows us to be in the present moment more and to create a sense of mindfulness. And again, you're giving yourself this gift, right? This gift of self-care, this gift of presence. And there's no better gift of quality time and 100% being in the present moment. So again, I invite you to consider a 5-minute meditation. So again, there is no right or wrong of how you're going to be meditating. You're not trying to stop the thoughts. The thoughts are always going to come. And you are simply just breathing and noticing the thoughts and emotions that might come up for you. And again, the thoughts and emotions aren't going to stop. So oftentimes we say we're too busy to meditate, especially during the holiday season. Usually when we say we're too busy to meditate, it's the time that we need to be meditating. Okay. So, and then lastly, there's often resistance around meditation. So our ego will push back when we are trying to be in control of our mindfulness, when we're trying to be in control of being in the present moment, staying calm and grounded. And our ego often will try to cause resistance for us not to do our meditation practice. So another breath that I wanted to go over with you is the alternate nostril breath. And so some of you have done this breath before, but an alternate nostril breath is the best breath that you can use, one of the best breaths that you can use for anxiety, for stress, for keeping the nervous system grounded. And basically an easy way to do it is you can take the thumb and the pinky finger, and you're always starting on the right side, and you're closing off the right nostril if you're able to do this with me. And you're inhaling on the left, closing off, exhaling on the right. Inhaling on the right, closing off, exhaling on the left. So again, we're inhaling left, close off, exhale right, and inhale right, close off, exhale left. Now, we do have some different materials that I've done actually on YouTube, on Instagram. And I've taught this breath for free on Instagram. If you want to go to WiseMind Science Soul, WiseMind Yoga Science and Soul, and you can go to our IGTV, and I have 5-minute videos where I actually teach this for free. So you can go and look at that. But this is a breath that we've used with a lot of clients. That is the most profound breath that I have found to keep my nervous system grounded. and to keep myself grounded. So even in the middle of a global pandemic, I have been able to find calm in the chaos. Okay. All right. So the second area I wanted to cover today is conscious relationships and conscious communication, active listening during the holiday season. Okay, so this pertains to all year round, but especially during the holiday season. So when we're all getting together, right, we're trying to practice mindfulness, but you might have distractions like your smartphone or the TV or music. So maybe turning off the TV, maybe turning down the music, maybe trying to stay away from your phone so that you can be in the present moment with the other folks that are in the room. So for example, my plan when I am spending time with family, because I'm actually traveling up to Pennsylvania next week, my intention is I am going to be putting my phone aside a majority of the time when I am spending time with family so that I'm not being distracted and I'm 100% in the present moment. So this is something I invite you to consider as well, because as you know, our smartphones can be extremely distracting. And yeah, so the other piece is I want you to be open to the emotions of others. So by being attentive and receptive to the people around you, obviously you're going to be able to connect more. And you want to be sensitive to observing other people's feelings during the holidays and to be open to those, communicating and talking about those feelings, because there's a lot of feelings that come up during the holidays, all different mixed bag, again, of peace and joy and happiness, but sadness and melancholy and all kinds of emotions that can come to the surface, right, that are buried in the unconscious that will rise up during the holidays. And because we've been dealing with everything that we have during COVID, that is happening much more. So for example, I don't know how many of you have struggled with this last year, if you want to share, but last year we had a travel restriction. And so many people were not able to travel if their family wasn't local. And so that caused, some feelings and some trauma and sadness and different things that might have come up for people last year. So for myself, I was one of those people that I could not be with my family last year. So I'm really looking forward to spending time with my family. And I invite you to try to connect on doing the same as well. So I want you to also think about letting go of old habits and patterns that might be holding you back. So the holidays come with traditions and memories, but sometimes old patterns can resurface, right? And old negative patterns and unhealthy patterns that aren't serving us because we're back in a familiar environment. And so oftentimes when we come back to, our original family of origin home, or our family is coming to visit us, old patterns will surface. It just will happen. So, you might be frustrated with in-laws that might be repeating the same story at the dinner table, or, a coworker that might be frustrating. So again, just notice the thoughts and feelings that are happening and try to be curious about what's happening rather than getting stuck in those thoughts and emotions that might be carrying on from the past. This opens up the possibility of new experience in your interactions and reduce the feelings like frustration and boredom. So one of the things I invite you to do is practice active listening, right, with your friends or with your family, where you're actually just listening. You're not trying to think about what you're going to say next. You're actually just 100% actively, empathetically listening to the other person and then repeating back to them what you heard. Okay. So again, that's a little tip on conscious communications. So the third area I wanted to cover today is emotional regulation and cope ahead skills. So I want you to think about, I use this term called stockpiling meditation and yoga or other coping skills and self-care skills during the holiday season. So if you are coming into, for example, a dinner with your family and you've been taking care of yourself, right? You've been getting sleep, you've been exercising or doing yoga, you've been doing meditation, you've grounded yourself, right? And then you come into the dinner with the family or your dinner with your own immediate family. You're going to come from a place of grounding and from a place of peace versus if you are rushing, and you're not giving yourself that time, you're going to show up or they're going to come to you and you're already going to be ungrounded, which is going to lead to potentially getting more triggered, more stress, more emotional reactivity, less patience, less joy, all of that, if you're not already grounded. So I invite you to consider grounding yourself. And one of the other things I also invite you to do is avoiding what we call hot topics. So kind of staying away from politics and tensions around religions or food preferences, because that can kind of quickly shift to charged, topics where people might get defensive. So try to search for a common ground. And it's amazing like how much better for me the holidays are when I started doing this. Just when I was younger, I would kind of happily maybe, wade in emotional combat or, emerging kind of bruised, but proud that I might have defended my view. But now I'm more mindful, and more quickly those conversations again can spiral right into separation. And that is not why I travel to spend time with my family. So now when I'm aware, right, of the inner thermostat rising, I don't take the bait because it's not worth it. I look for common ground and I focus on joy and inner peace and letting go of things that are going to cause disharmony, right? So if you are in a conversation with somebody and you feel it going, not towards what we call conscious communication or not towards peace, then just kind of changing the subject and moving on to something else instead of pushing back on that other person, if that makes sense. So one of the breathing techniques that I wanted to share with you is called a 3-part breath. Now, what's beautiful about the 3-part breath for the holiday season is that you can be sitting at the table having a holiday meal or having a conversation, and literally like if you were sitting on the couch with somebody and you're having a conversation and you feel yourself, getting stressed or your heart rate is increasing, you might feel yourself getting anxious or getting frustrated or getting triggered, that you can actually start to do this breath and it will ground your nervous system. So how the 3-part breath works is you start at the base of the spine and you work up to the diaphragm and into the chest, and then from the chest to the diaphragm to the belly. So again, from the belly to the diaphragm to the chest, full breath and pause, from the chest to the diaphragm to the belly. Now, this is also a great breath for those of you that are in corporate, or for those of you that might own your own business, that you're on a lot of Zoom calls, that you can be doing this breath while you're sitting in these Zoom calls that you're trying to stay grounded in. So let's do this maybe 5 rounds. I'll take you through this 3-part breath. So again, we're starting at the base. Big inhale up to the diaphragm, into the chest, and pause. From the chest to the diaphragm to the belly. Again, from the belly to the diaphragm to the chest, pause. From the chest to the diaphragm to the belly. One more time, from the chest to the diaphragm to the belly, pause. From the chest to the diaphragm to the belly. So this is actually called Dirga Pranayama, and it is another one of those top stress pranayama breaths that we teach in our yoga teacher training and in our mastermind program. So we also have emergency kits, what I would call an emergency kit, and this would be part of that, would be alternate nostril breath that I shared with you, or the 3-part breath. Another option is you can take a quick shower that can reset you emotionally and reset your nervous system. You can use essential oils. You can actually do something, putting ice in your hands to reset. So this is when you're emotionally dysregulated and you need to reset your nervous system. Okay, so these are what we call coping skills or cope ahead skills. So I did want to mention one other thing. When I was teaching the alternate nostril breath, one thing I meant to mention is when you're inhaling, you always want to double the exhale. So for example, if you're inhaling for 2, you would exhale for 4. If you're inhaling for 4, you're going to exhale for 8. So you always double the exhale. And you usually want to do at least 15 rounds of either of those breaths, the 3-part breath or the alternate nostril breath. Okay. One other quick tip I did want to mention, some of you may already have a journaling practice. Any of you want to share? If you have a journaling practice, let us know. And one of the kind of coping skills that we have during the holiday season or any time of the year is what we call a stream of conscious journaling. So this is when you're actually just something is frustrating you or you're feeling impatient or something you want to release, you can just journal. So I invite you to either continue your journaling practice if you've started it already, or to take that as a tool to use during the holiday season. So the last piece I want to talk about is self-care and self-compassion. And this is a really important part of not just wellness during the holiday season, but all year round. So I want you to think about trying to stick to your wellness routine. So if you have a self-care routine already, I invite you to really try to stick to that routine. And if you are struggling with a routine, to try to maybe up your self-care during the holidays so that you're being more gentle with yourself and you're taking care of yourself so that you can be in a place of grounding. So I want you to think about, are you struggling at all, like to stay conscious through the holidays? And I don't mean physically conscious. I'm talking about maintaining your emotional balance, your physical health, and your mindful presence. So as a yogi, one second. As a yogi or inspiring student, you probably have an, again, effective wellness routine to keep balanced and grounded. You might do an asana practice. You might have pranayama. You might do meditation. You might eat great organic food. But when we're dealing with increased travel or late nights, you may not be sleeping well. If you do travel for the holidays, you're going to be eating different things. You're going to be potentially drinking alcohol. You know, it's easy to fall out of your wellness routine. So pay attention, especially if you're traveling. I want you to try to commit to drinking in moderation and to eat mindfully, right? So that doesn't mean that we can't splurge, that we can't have cookies and all the things, right? I'm not saying to totally cut that out. I'm just saying to just try to be mindful. I mean, I'm going to be eating Christmas cookies at Christmas, right? So there's nothing wrong with that, but just being mindful about what you're eating. If something does happen and you really are trying to watch what you eat, I don't want you to punish yourself or beat yourself up, because I want you to enjoy the holidays. And so when I eat the things that I normally don't eat during the holidays, I am going to enjoy them and I'm not going to beat myself up. Okay. So I want you to also think about, are you being kinder to yourself than you are to others? Okay, so you can write that in the comments. Do you feel like you're kinder to yourself than you are to others? Because part of mindful self-compassion is actually being kind to yourself as you are to others, to actually speak to yourself the way you would speak to your best friend, the way you would speak to a friend. So are you struggling with accepting and supporting yourself, right? Could you use more self-compassion? So research shows that self-compassion is one of the most powerful tools that we have at our disposal to create health and happiness. is something as simple as the way we treat ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves, the thoughts that we allow to come in. So I want you to think about practicing self-compassion during this holiday season, okay? And don't forget to take care of yourself and to be good to yourself and to know that you are always doing the best that you can, okay? That is what mindful self-compassion is also giving yourself credit that you are always doing the best that you can. Tara says, I feel I'm equal in both. Awesome. And Sandy says, I need to learn to be better to myself for sure. Thanks for the reminder. Yes, girl. Ladies, I'm here. I'm getting goosebumps because I wanted to share this because this is something we have to continue to remind ourselves, okay? All year round. And you're going to hear me continue to talk about mindful self-compassion. Because if you don't continue to be aware of it and go back to it over and over again, you will revert to old samskara patterns of beating yourself up. And I'm raising my hand because this has happened to me many times. So I invite you to try to work on getting regular sleep and exercise and to take time to do relaxing things and fun things so you can recharge, okay? Because allowing yourself, taking care of yourself is going to make you more attentive. It's going to make you calmer during the holidays, and may even when you take care of yourself, it's possible to be kinder and more giving to others, right? You actually can stay more in the actual true holiday spirit when you are feeling good, right? If you're feeling good on the inside, then you have more love and compassion to give to everybody else around you. And you really can create this beam of light and this beam of joy and peace for everybody else around you, okay? The other piece of mindfulness and mindful self-compassion is letting go of judgment, okay? So both for you and for others. So conflict with family and friends during the holidays can lead to judgment and self-criticism. So whether you're blaming a partner, for not having, to prepare the holiday meal in time, or you're feeling disappointed in yourself, like looking back at your year, or you notice when you're making judgments, right? So take a step back and try to loosen those feelings of being bad or being wrong or being inadequate and putting these unrealistic expectations on ourselves, especially during the holiday, that it has to be a certain way or it's not good enough, okay? So again, I want you to simply notice when it's happening and let those thoughts be without entangling yourself in them. So give yourself the distance from the feeling. We want to practice witness mind and observing the thought instead of giving the thought power. We want to balance the quote shoulds with awareness of your own needs. And holiday obligations can be important, but be sure to balance them with the awareness of your own needs. So we're operating on obligations alone and trying to please, right, everyone's expectations can lead to resentment and burnout. So rather focus solely on planning instead of planning the perfect dinner or getting the perfect gift. Observe how those expectations affect you and make sure to take the time and space you need to notice yourself in the meantime. So one of the things I invite you to do during this holiday season is actually to write yourself a self-care plan. So I'm going to write this down. Self-care plan. And this will allow you to mark time in your schedule and in your calendar to actually find time for meditation, right? To find time for yoga, to find time for exercise. And this can be as little as 15 minutes, okay? It could be 15 minutes a day. If you don't have an hour, it is better for you to do 15 minutes of moving your body and 5 minutes of meditation than to not do anything at all. So I invite you to write it in your calendar, to book your own appointment for self-care, especially through the holiday season. And I am right there with you. I'm doing that for myself. I'm having to write down to make sure I'm taking care of myself during this time too, right? So just know that we all struggle with this and we can work on it together, okay? So one of the pieces I wanted to let you guys know about while I have you on here is we are doing a 5-day challenge that's actually coming up starting in January. So first of all, I want to know if you guys have any questions for me. Do you have any questions on the breath? Do you have any questions on any of the stuff I talked about on mindfulness, any of that stuff? So I just wanted to make you guys aware of this so that you can mark it in your calendar. So it is starting January 17th. It'll go through January 21st. It's a 5-day challenge, and I'm not going to get into a lot of detail right now, but it's New You 2022. I put the link in the comments, and you can go to the page and look at that. So there's all kinds of other things I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing yoga and guest interviews and all kinds of stuff associated with it. But the core piece of it is a 5-day challenge that I'm going to take you through. And then there'll be a workbook, and there'll be every day you'll have homework assignments. So it's a lot that we've prepared, even though it's a free offering, if that makes sense. Like if we were charging for something like this, it would be close to $2,000. So just know that there's been a lot of preparation, and our team has been working on a lot of things to prepare for all of this already, like putting the page together for you guys. So there it is. And I also wanted to share, Cami, I don't know if we have a link that's shareable for this survey that we did. If not, we can send a follow-up email with the folks that registered for that. But we do also have a survey that we're sending out too, because we're really trying to work on making sure that the content that we're putting together for you guys in 2022 is what you're looking for. So if Cami doesn't have that link, then we'll send a follow-up email for that. So is there anything else that I can do for you all? We have a couple minutes here. Is there anything else that I can help you with? Anything else that you have questions on while you have me here? Anything else you want to share? Is there something you want to share as far as anything you're struggling with, or a question you have? Like, because I know that especially during COVID this year, I definitely have had to work every single day and staying grounded and using mindfulness during this holiday season, like getting ready for me to travel, and I'm going to be flying back, and getting presents together, and just like the whole thing, just staying grounded and making sure I have my daughter's vaccine card because we're going to a theater in Pittsburgh. So we all are kind of struggling with different things. So anything you want to share or any questions that you have for me, let me write this in here really quick. So review 2022. This is January 17th through the 21st at noon Eastern time. And there will be a replay. And we have 3 bonuses that we're offering when you register. And I did want to mention one other thing. We also are doing a giveaway. So I know there's some ladies here in the group that are part of foundations, Tara included. We are actually doing a giveaway for the survey. That's what the giveaway is for. And then we'll be doing other giveaways as we go into the challenge. But for those, when we send out the survey, we'll be doing a giveaway for that for the first 25 people that fill out the survey. See, I'm traveling again this year, seeing family. It's like bad COVID Groundhog's Day. It was so nice jumping on a lunch. See you. Thanks for all you do. Hope you feel better. And I know we'll be connecting soon. Thank you, hon. Cool. Yay. All right. I'm sending you guys so much love, light, and blessing. For those of you that celebrate Christmas, Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. And I hope you have a happy new year. I cannot wait to connect with you guys in 2022. And I am so excited to share the things that we have going into the new year. And I just can't wait to continue to be here to support you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So much gratitude. Thank you for taking your time to be here with us. I know everybody's super busy right now, and I really value each and every one of you. And thank you for taking the time to be here. And thank you for everyone that watches the replay for this as well. So again, send you guys so much love, light, and blessings. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your holiday season. And I hope that these tips have helped you. We will talk to you soon. Namaste.